All right. Good morning to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning also to those of you on the West Coast. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And if you are here to join us live, I am excited to have the next guest on. They are the U.S. Marketing Manager for Prop Store. And if you are unfamiliar with Prop Store, or for those of you that are, it is a organization that sells movie props as well as costume-related memorabilia. Been operating since 1998, thanks to founder Stephen Lang's love for movies, which led him to, begin hunting for the same props and costumes that were used to create, his favorite films. So I will have the U.S. Marketing Manager for Prop Store, Matt Truex. Let me bring him on. How's it going, Matt? How you doing?
Hey, good. How about you, Brandon?
Good, good, good. So first and foremost, before we, dig in, can you tell me, how you doing, man? Like, it's so much that's been going on in the world. I know that's like an understatement, between,
Yeah.
with what you guys have happening with the store in London and, here in California. And I know like today it's pretty cool is that I guess things have been relaxed as of today in the state of California, as we speak today. So, how have you
Yes.
been?
Yeah, good. It feels like, especially today, it feels like the storm has been weathered a little bit, as far as COVID is concerned. We were talking this morning over emails and stuff, and I couldn't even
Yeah.
see them yet because I was just moving my computer back into the office. So we're back in, and we're in the middle of this big auction push. It's the biggest live auction we've ever done. So it's just kind of full steam ahead right now. It's exciting.
For sure, for sure. So just digging right in and talking about the auction in and of itself. Before I hop into uh, what we have here about some of the awesome Batman props and memorabilia, and I have to say like that film holds a special place for me in that
Same.
I've only shared it a couple of times, on many of the shows that I've done, but it was the first movie I ever saw. So that was my first
Like,
introduction to
hands
cinema.
down,
So
ever saw. That's amazing.
yeah, so it left obviously quite an impression with my fandoms and thinking back on it, I kind of took it for granted. I was like, that explains so much about my about my taste in film. So uh, before I get into that, can you talk a bit about what shapes how you guys go about putting in those particular props? Because it always seems like you guys have a theme every go around, and these auctions. Whether it's perhaps
Sure.
coming up on an anniversary, I'm sure, or I mean, it's unique in this case. I don't think it was even perhaps even purposeful on your part, but that particular era of Batman is going to be making a resurgence. And for many of us that are familiar with the upcoming Flash film,
Yep.
there's going to be a resurgence of that. So go for it.
It's unreal, isn't it? I'm just so excited for that. I've got you'll see a Batman tattoo here as I'm waving my hands around. Like I'm right there with you. I couldn't be more excited about it. As far as like how we go about finding stuff that we're going to put in these live auctions, the company does these big, we call them entertainment memorabilia live auctions. We do two a year, one here in the LA office and one in London. And we say that they're kind of like the cherry stuff of the year. They're the best of the best. And we always try to make sure that every big genre, especially the big franchises and whatnot, are represented in there. So we're pretty known for the Star Wars memorabilia that we're able to find, and we always try to make sure that there's something really exciting in that realm. And same with the superhero stuff, and especially Batman, because it's kind of the blockbuster that started it all. You could say Superman the movie before that, but as far as you know, superhero films in general, that first '89 Batman movie by Tim Burton was the biggie. So we're
For
very
sure.
excited to have pieces from the Michael Keaton era. We've got a bullet hit bat emblem from the first film that actually screen matches to later in the film when he's been shot essentially by the Joker's goons. And then we've got right over here to the side here. Maybe I'll try to
Yeah,
swing the
for
camera
sure.
just
Yeah,
a
go
little
for
bit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, not great television, but since we're talking about them, there we go. Over there, we've got penguins running for mayor banner, and then the cape and chest plate from Batman Returns. So I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm so excited to have pieces like this, and then we have stuff even into um, the Christian Bale era. We've got some of his bat bombs that he had in the utility belt and that type of thing. So like I said, it's not just about the one specific version of Batman, but between him being back in the cowl and Harrison Ford being back on set as Indiana Jones, we've got one of his hats in the auction. It's just crazy to see these icons that we thought had played their part and done their thing, coming back and being on screen again in those costumes.
For sure, for sure. And to speak further on that, just that idea, you were speaking case in point of those Batman props acting as like your headliners. However, you have a multitude of items. I know it's not lost on you of many of the props that you have like on display. Whether it is like Leonardo's costume or Wolverine's adamantium claws.
Mm-hmm.
Or say aluminum claws, but we know them as
We
adamantium.
know they're adamantium. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
with that being said, can you talk also about those additional pieces that are available as well?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the biggest live auction we've ever done. So there's 1,300 pieces that we're selling over three
Insane, yeah.
days, starting June 29th. So it's just a huge collection of stuff. But I mean, yeah, like right over here behind me, these are the aluminum, the actual metal claws. The cool thing about those is they're from the Wolverine, the second of the like standalone Wolverines, the one right before Logan.
Yeah.
And so they're a bit redesigned. They're not quite as bladed as they'll be when it comes to I think it was Future Past where they like made sure there were blades on the top, but they're just a little like angrier looking than the ones that we've seen from the
Yeah.
first three X-Men movies.
Yeah,
So it's just cool
definitely.
to kind of see, I've been here for almost 9 years, so it's cool to have seen the different variations come through and now see some of the newer stuff come out. But yeah, I mean, like behind me, there's stuff from like so many different genres. We got Ted. Don't see, I'm all messed up. We got Ted hanging out here in the corner. Got Muppets up behind me. We've got pieces from Saw, Scream, obviously behind me, and then like the big ones this year. Maybe our standout pieces are we're working with the Warner Brothers Archive for the first time ever, selling an original Harry Potter wand and eyeglasses. So it's the first time that they've ever been like fully sanctioned and released from WB. So we're very excited to see how those do in auction. They're also being sold for the Lumos charity. 100% of the Hammer Prize proceeds go to them. So that's an
Outstanding.
exciting one. So we get to do a little bit of good, relatively while we're selling off props and cool stuff too.
Outstanding. And in having many of these pieces that are a part of cinematic history, can you also talk briefly about the the process in which you guys have in terms of making sure that they are in a condition that they can be because I know oftentimes with many of these pieces have been around forever, and there's a lot, I'm sure,
Yep.
wear and tear. However, you still want to keep the authenticity of the pieces and sometimes I could get lost in trying to restore it. So can you talk a bit about that also briefly?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like for a lot of these things, I can't think of a specific example from this auction. I'm sorry to say, but um, in the past, like you're saying, like we've sold a lot of gremlins from the various
For
Gremlins
sure.
movies, and
Yeah.
they're all made of foam, and they look amazing. And that was all done with puppets. There's no CG involved in those movies or anything, so they're real physical pieces, but they're drying out, and maybe they're cracking or they're losing bits of skin or whatever. So it really, the process of it goes from varies from piece to piece, but we always try to go for what's called sympathetic restoration, which is about saving the piece as much as possible, like not if the skin is deteriorating on something, not totally pulling the skin off and redoing it, but saving what's there and then patching up whatever needs to be, kind of redone. So when it comes to like something like the Gremlins, you'll probably, if you've got little bits of skin or whatever flaking off it, you'd want to patch those up, get them properly repainted, and then seal them. Do a process that seals it so that it's not going to dry out
And of
fall
course, don't
apart
add water.
anymore. And never
Of course
add water.
now.
Food after midnight is a no, but yeah.
Awesome, awesomeness. With that being said, I know you touched on it briefly, at the top. Can you tell folks how they can own, many of these pieces for the auction? I know you guys are doing an online bidding. You guys had one on the first, but yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, happy to. So online bidding is open now on all 1,300 lots. With 1,300 lots too, like we've been saying, there's stuff in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and there's stuff in the hundreds. Like so, the hope is with an auction that big that there's something in there for everybody. So if you're interested in a favorite film, especially one that's pretty culturally, beloved, check out the site. We probably have something from it. But online bidding is open on all those things right now at propstore.com/live auction. And then starting on June 29th to July 1st, we will have our live streamed auction going. So that is literally going to be a live stream of the auctioneer in the room with the gavel, calling out the different lots and taking bids. So it's fun. There's a bit of a I was a theater kid in high school. There's a bit of a theater element to it, where you're putting on the show for people, and it's a one person show. They're just up there with the gavel, but it's really exciting, especially with that energy to see how these things sell, and especially the big pieces. If there's two people that want them, it's it can lead to fireworks on auction day. So it's really fun to watch.
For sure, for sure. So Matt, I want to thank you so much for coming in and talking briefly about this auction of many of these awesome pieces. Outside of of course the auction in and of itself, can you tell folks? I have the link down below for the
Mm-hmm.
auction where folks can find Prop Store on social media.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just propstore.com. We do not only auctions, but we do retail sites. So you can go on and find something you like and just put it in your cart and buy it like it's Amazon today. And then we're PropStore on Facebook, prop_store on Instagram, and propstore_com on Twitter, I believe. I feel like that was a test, but we're out there. So search for PropStore and you'll find us.
Awesome stuff. Well, again, Matt, thank you so much for your time. Again, I'm your host, Brandon Choi, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks so much for watching, guys, this morning. Be safe out there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.